There's a lot to love in the real Florida. Stick around while we explore the people, events, and businesses in this region.
Welcome back, right here in beautiful downtown Chipley right now at Emmie and Company. If you're a regular viewer of the show, you see us visit here all the time. Right now with Alex Beall. Alex is here doing a one-woman show, if you will. Her merchandise is regularly retailed here at Emmie and Company, and today she's actually visiting our fair city, our fair town, our fair store here at Emmie and Company. We're having some fun, and there's a lot of people around. Thanks for taking the time. It kind of took a while for us to wait for some of the crowd to disperse, but thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, you're welcome. No problem.
Now, your home is where?
Valdosta, Georgia, currently.
Okay. And you, I've heard you say 30, 40 times that you're ready to move to Nashville.
Ready to go. At the end of the month, I'll be relocating to Nashville, Tennessee. So.
Good. You'll never have to utter the word Valdosta again.
No.
You travel around. You actually do most of the work from your home base, but you travel around and do these one-woman shows, if you will. Typically, if I were to walk in here to Emmie and Company in beautiful downtown Chipley, I could look at your product, I could pick out the stones I wanted, decide what kind of settings and artwork I wanted, and they would send that information to you, and then you would create the jewelry. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. Anything that they see here that they want, and they design it, and I'll make it and send it right to their door. So.
How did you get involved in this business?
Really, it was a hobby that turned into something more. Friends and family saw me wearing the jewelry and asked me to make some for them, and it just kind of took off there. Word of mouth and social media were huge, and so it's really kind of grown on its own, you know. So.
Where else do you display your products? You're here in Chipley, you live in Valdosta. Where else do you display your products on?
We've got some retailers in the Missouri area and the Atlanta area, Tallahassee here in Florida, Gainesville, of course Valdosta, Tifton in Georgia, and Albany in Georgia.
So centered around the southeast, but going no farther south than Chipley at this point?
Right, right.
Okay. Have you looked elsewhere in Florida?
Yes, we are online, so we run into a lot of people, talk to them through social media, and kind of everything's available for, you know, boutiques to carry. Then we also sell directly online through Instagram and Facebook and Etsy. So.
Yeah. Now, are the and probably a silly question, but I need to ask it: are the gift-giving seasons a little busier for you, or do you seem to stay busy year-round?
We stay fairly busy year-round, but particularly during Christmas and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, we get a lot more orders because, you know, women love the jewelry, and it's just an easy gift to give.
So around Valentine's Day, you find women buying jewelry for themselves, or simply directing their husband or boyfriend to your site?
We have a lot of people directed. Men will come in and, well, I was told to get this, this, and this. And so, you know, it makes it easy to have everything available. And Mother's Day's coming up, so it's a great holiday to buy jewelry for.
Yeah, you mentioned Mother's Day coming up. What is the turnaround? If I wanted to get something for Mother's Day, and that's coming up here in just a couple of weeks, actually, if I were to come in here and you were not here, for instance, on a regular retail day at Emmie and Company, I would come in, I would talk to Margaret or one of the other people here, one of the staff, and say, here's what I want. How long would it take before I actually had that back in my hands?
Probably about a week and a half.
So we're really on the cusp right now. If you don't order today or the next couple of days, you're probably not going to have it for Mother's Day.
Right, right.
Okay. What's the best part of being in this business?
I love what I do. And so it's something that I enjoy, and it makes it really easy to call it work, you know?
They say if you never want to work a day in your life, just find something you like and do that. It doesn't make any difference how many hours you work. What's the most challenging part? What's the most difficult part of being in this particular business?
Sometimes, you know, working especially from a home base, you have to really get motivated. I teach during the day and during the school year, so I work there and then I come home and I have to make sure I stay on top of things. But, you know, at the end of the day, getting to have a creative outlet like this and making things that I love, you know, it makes it a little easier to stay motivated and productive.
Now, you teach lapidary arts?
I actually work with special needs students.
Ah, okay. So you teach regular schooling. How long have you been doing this? When did you actually start? And you mentioned how you got started as a hobby, but when did that actually happen?
We had our first birthday as a company in February, so 1 year.
Ah, okay.
A little more than a year.
So you're in quite a few retail locations in spite of it being just that short year.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm looking at some what looks like earrings right in front of us here. I saw some really cool arrowheads, coins. You point out they're mostly out of circulation foreign coins. So there's no end to the different elements that can go into this jewelry. What's the most unusual thing you ever made a piece of jewelry out of?
Oh my goodness. Well, the stones have been the coolest thing to kind of get to learn the different types, you know, the quartz and the agates. And we get a lot of requests sometimes for the coin jewelry. People will, you know, visit different places around the world and they'll save coins, and they've been keepsakes, but they don't know what to do with them. So they'll send it to me, we'll drill them, we'll make them into jewelry that they can wear, and it's a really cool keepsake. So it's interesting to see where people have gone and what they've collected, and so I think that's the neatest part of it.
Now, again, as I point out, I see arrowheads and old coins, lots of semi-precious stones. Most of them have been polished and drilled, so they're actually ready to go. I would imagine that Margaret or one of the staff here would simply put those things into an envelope. Basically, do you have an order sheet that they describe what the jewelry is going to be?
Yes, we have bags that they'll fill with the stones that they've picked out. We'll do a little description of what they want. They'll put their shipping information, and I'll take everything home with me today and then send it out from myself. If they prefer to pick it up at the store, I can also send it to Margaret.
Okay. If somebody wants to find out more about you, don't have the opportunity to come down here and meet you today, what is your website?
We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Southern Bauble Company, company spelled out. Instagram, Southern Bauble Co., C-O. And Etsy, Southern Bauble Company. So.
Has Etsy sort of become the affordable e-commerce alternative to a website?
It's really easy because you don't have to worry about figuring out how to set up a website. They do all of the legal legwork for you. And so it really has been a blessing for us because it's an easy way to send people directly to our products. So.
Now, do they charge a fee?
There is a tiny fee, but it's not enough to say that it's not worth it to use.
And how does payment work? I know through eBay you use PayPal, or typically everybody sort of leans toward PayPal. How does Etsy work as far as payment?
Etsy has the option of paying directly through them or PayPal. So.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about checks bouncing. They don't have to worry about you ripping them off because money goes to them, and then they send you everything except for their fee. Is that correct?
Correct. And they have buyer and seller protection through Etsy.
Which does what?
It prevents, bounce checks and fraudulent cards used and things like that.
Is it like eBay where there's an experience rating where I'd feel more comfortable working with you, seeing that you had 5,000 transactions versus you just started last week?
Yes, and you can rate different businesses on Etsy.
Okay. What are you going to do while you're here in Chipley? I know you're going to be here for the day. You're going to be here till 2 o'clock with your jewelry. There's a whole lot to Chipley. What are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Well, we're just going to hang out here. We've got some refreshments. We're going to socialize and make some jewelry, and then I'm heading back because I've got another trunk show in Georgia in a couple of weeks. So.
Okay, and it takes you a couple weeks to get ready for that next one.
Yeah.
What kind of money do you have tied up in inventory? Is it an expensive process? If there's a young girl out there who wants to get involved and do what you're doing, ballpark, what does it take to get into business?
I honestly couldn't say. We do buy a lot of wholesale stones and just kind of hope that, what we create, other people are going to love. So it's just really believing in your product and being willing to, sacrifice it and put it all in and then do the work to get it sold. So.
Thanks for taking the time. I'd like to spend a little more time with you maybe and take a look around and look at some of your stuff. But thanks for being here and thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem. I enjoyed it.
Here in beautiful downtown Chipley right now with Alex Beall here at Emmie and Company, talking a little bit about Alex's business. If you're a young adult and you'd like to get out there on your own, this is certainly a blueprint for an opportunity that you too might avail yourself. If you'd like to check out Alex, the Facebook page, Etsy, and Instagram links are on the bottom of your page right now. Check out Emmie and Company. Even when Alex is not around, her product is, and certainly lots of other reasons for visiting beautiful downtown Chipley, as well as right here at Emmie and Company almost any day. We'll be right back.
It's the interesting people, events, and businesses that make the real Florida what it is. So stick around, and we'll be right back with more.